In these series of blogs on construction site accidents, if there's one issue that I'd like you to take away, that is the importance of communication. It's the importance of the communication flowing from the project superintendent or project manager to various parties, to the employees of the subcontractor, to the subcontractor's main office. And it's through that communication that the project superintendent should get a sense of what's going to happen, how the task will be done, will it be done with appropriate safeguards, and what has been done by this company on past jobs, and are they following what would be good practice for this particular job. Now, this communication that goes on with the subcontractor, both the subcontractor's main office and the employees, should all be documented. And documentation is a fertile source for the lawyer, for the injured construction worker, to see if things are being carried out in a safe manner. Now, there also should be, and it's expected that there would be, safety meetings. I've had witnesses admit to me that where safety meetings weren't held by the general contractor, that's out of the norm. I suggest to you that that's a very low-key way of saying it's a bad idea not to have safety meetings. Now, I talk about communication, and communication also arises in this scenario. When a project superintendent is walking on the site and sees something that could be a potential problem or sees a safety lapse, he or she, as project superintendent, must make note of it, should document it, and certainly should tell the parties who could be adversely affected, or any other third party, hey, that's not the way this should be done. I expect more and I expect better. So we want to make sure that we're dealing with a proactive project superintendent. And in fact, where these accidents have occurred, oftentimes the superintendent hadn't been appropriately proactive. Again, we want to know documentation. We want to see documentation. In the last blog, I spoke about documentation in the forms of safety meetings, and in another blog I'll talk about the documentation that we would expect to be if there was a third-party audit. But there should also be documentation if there were conversations between the project superintendent and the main office of the injured worker, because perhaps there were things that were discussed that should have been in place that would have prevented this accident. Howard Baker, a senator in 1973 on the Senate Watergate Committee, asked a famous compound question, we lawyers would say. And the question was, what did the president know and when did he know it? In the same vein, we want to know, what did the project superintendent know and when did he know it? And I'll add a third question to this, and that is, what steps did he take to prevent an accident in light of learning what he did when he did? That's so important. Again, another common thread here is the documentation. I've spoken about written documentation from either the injured worker's employer or from the project superintendent that he or she has documented safety meetings, but there's another kind of documentation, and that is from pictures and videos. Often you'll find these projects have a wealth of pictures and videos. Why? Partially because of a publicity motive on the part of the developer or general contractor. Often those will make its way to their websites. But it has a secondary benefit, a wonderful secondary benefit for us, and that is we can get a real sense, almost as if it were real time, as to what was going on and when it was going on at the site. These are all part of the arsenal available to your lawyer in representing you, the injured construction worker. Thank you.